Hey, good morning, everybody. Morning, David. Morning, Mark. Morning, Patrick, Arturo, Valerie, Donald, Jan, George, Rongamer. Good morning, everybody. If you want to chat with me, like all these fine people right here, you just need to be a subscriber. Check it out right over there in the bottom corner. Just hit that button. A few seconds later, you can chat with me during the live stream. Now, if you tune in later after I'm no longer live, you'll have to leave me a comment. And if you want to chat with me all day live, you can be a member of one of my services. I do charge for that, and you got the links in the description. Just expand it out, and you can join for like $5 for 3 months, and you get like another 12 months for a reasonable price. So, anyway, that all said, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results, but I tend to get things right, but I may never do it again. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, and fun. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument, or otherwise. Don't buy the thing in the description if you don't want to. It's not going to solve all your problems, but it may get you ahead in some market stuff. So if you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor that has a fiduciary duty to give you advice. I'm not in the advice business. I am just in the making crazy predictions on the internet and having a good time with you, having fun. So, all right. Well, I got Apple right, kind of, and got Amazon right, kind of. Crazy. We'll find out when they actually open. That's why I say kinda. We haven't seen the actual market open. We've seen the pre-market action. I said Apple was due for a pullback. And if you've been following me for months, I kind of was saying that Apple would come up just shy of 200 and then pull back. And lo and behold, we came up right over here, just shy of 200. Right there. We got the 198.23, and then try it again, lower high, and ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. We'll find out how this actually opens up. I was long AAPD into this earnings because I kind of expected it to pull back. They did beat on the top and beat on the bottom, but it was lower revenue quarter. And third quarter in a row of lower revenue, lower expectations. Ouch. Due for a pullback on the daily. I was saying yesterday we were fully cooked and may get a deeper pullback. Now, how deep may we go? Let's kind of run this really quickly off this little baby pattern here. We're below the extension on this first move, so we may see a bounce before we continue any lower on Apple. Just be careful, all right? Be careful shorting it right after the open. I would be careful going long because this is a bearish reversal pattern so far. We can see it going down. Be careful. The support is going to be all the way down here, right in this zone, down here around 175. You may be like, look, that's only 10 points. That's not that far. All right. Be careful on Apple. We'll see where it actually opens here in just a few minutes. Amazon, I was saying 140. Look at that. 140 pre-market. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'd like to see it push on higher, possibly up to 160. We'll see what actually happens here. But 140 that's kind of been the target I've been talking about for, gosh, since December, I think. So finally got there. Be careful. It doesn't have to go up to 160. That was like the extension, the beautiful goal. Like if everything was rosy and peachy keen in the markets in the world, I expected it to come up to 165-ish. But hey, I'll take 140. Pretty good. All right. Airbnb, also having a long on that one. Just kind of chopping on the earnings. We were higher, we were lower. We were just kind of coming in flat. Looks like at the open, the earnings weren't banger. I mean, they did beat on the top and beat on the bottom. They came in light on the number of reservations or nights spent with them. They only had like 115 million nights booked. So that was lower than expectations, and we'll see. Times are tough. Economy's rough. This was a pullback, and this can be the bottom, and we can turn up and break out again, pushing higher. So this did pull back pretty hard into earnings here. Went from like 155 down to right around, looks like 140 is about where we're going to open here in about 10 minutes or so. We'll see. That's what I got to say there. We'll see. PayPal on my list today? Not really. Didn't make the list today. Let's see. Let me pull over and here are the things that did announce earnings. We had Coinbase, Block, Airbnb, DraftKings, Cloudflare, Fortnite, Petrobras, Wish. Not many of these actually made the list today. Fubo, Nikola this morning, Magna, Enbridge, Frontier. PayPal was Wednesday, and we talked about that yesterday, and it went right down to support. So I do have lower targets on PayPal. We can review that briefly, but it's not on the list today because it's not really moving overnight. Now, on the daily chart, I was predicting that we would see lower prices on PayPal. Down to 54, possibly even all the way down here to 45 is where I've been looking for, gosh. All right, let's talk about the actual market and S&P and all that good junk, all the good stuff. So, yes. Let's jump down to the 30-minute. JT had drawn some arrows. Look at that so far. Kind of hanging in here. That is a higher low. Even though it's a lower low than right here, that's a higher low with a bigger move. Be careful. This is starting to look bullish. On the S5FI, we came down well into the 65 area. That's all we really needed to be able to go back higher and churn right under 80. That would be a beautiful spot to just grind out higher. That's why this big blue arrow is sitting there. I expected this to pop up quicker. We kind of took longer to do that. I expected the retrace. We're doing that. Then the pop and the hold. That was the prediction I made back in like February or something like that when I drew all this crap. Yeah. Maybe it was April. Anyway, time flies, right? Hey, happy Friday. Good morning. Good morning, Michael, David, Lori. Morning, everybody. Jason. Have to glance over the chat every now and then, see how everybody's doing. If you got questions along the way, let me know. Morning, Dan. So this is going to the plan. I mean, maybe a little deeper, potentially, but right now this can be bullish, and we can just hang out up here. Do we hang out below the 80 when we're doing a run? Let's look back over here. Look, right here. We hung out, had a prolonged hangout period right there. That was a nice big run in 2021. Moving on back. Look, right here. Prolonged period right under 80. Ground higher in 2020. Or actually, that's 2019, right into the 2020. Oopsie. Get my dates right. And looking on back, we ground kind of in the middle. Another period of time where we just kind of chopped in right there as we expanded. So we can do that, all right? It does tend to oscillate between the top and the bottom, but we can just pop up and grind if we're going to go higher. All right. So if you want to pull this up on your chart, S5FI, stocks above the 50-day moving average on the S&P. That's what we got. This was enough pullback that we can just move higher from here. Did we get the 3% pullback in that ES? No. We came up at like 2.7%. So that does give probability that we're going to see a 3% pullback at some point, but that could have been enough for now. We can grind on higher. Now, this orange box right here that I've drawn on the chart, that's going to be my watch zone. If we turn down off the bottom of that, 45.75-ish, watch out below. Now, it could be as low as 45.70. If we break out the top of it around 46.10, we're probably going to be going on higher for now. Probably going to make a new high than we made back here just what, 2 weeks ago, week ago? Anyway, higher than what we did on the 27th of July. All right, any questions on that one? That's what we got right now. This is starting to look a little bullish. We get above that roadmap line on the 30-minute, and that's setting us up to go higher. The 1 hour a bit higher, the 4 hour, we're basically bouncing off of it. That's a bullish pattern. Holding the 4 hour. We held it for a number of hours now, retested it even. This is a setup for going higher, much higher. Now, we have not touched the daily. We didn't even get close. We didn't even think about it. That's all the way down here. That still remains a place where we could go. But right now, probably The way these things work, probably going to bounce off this 4-hour, make a new high, then come back, test the 4-hour. If it doesn't hold, go on down to the daily. All right. That's ES. If you're unfamiliar with ES, that's S&P 500, SPY, SPX, XSP, SPXL, SPXS, all the dang different derivatives that trade S&P 500. That's what this is. This is the futures. They trade overnight. That's why I'm using them, because I get the full picture of data. If we pull up the SPY chart, SPX chart, we're not going to get that overnight action. It stopped trading at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon Eastern time. We got no overnight data. None. So that's why I look at ES. It gives me the picture right there. Next up, NQ, NASDAQ, QQQ, all the QQQ derivatives that you might want to trade. NDX. This one is a bit more bearish. Now, we could see rotation out of big tech while everything else kind of churns higher in the S&P 500. This is a setup. Came up here, measured bounce, came down, did not get the extensions. Now, this could be a signal that that's actually just a bullish correction, and we don't push down lower. We just blast off and go crazy high. This would fit with, if this price action this year matches what we saw in 1999, think about it, before the big dot-com explosion, implosion, whatever you want to call it. The price action for 2023 looks a lot like 1999 so far, and in 1999, we got a crazy rally right into the end of the year. That may be exactly what happens this year. All right. It's one reason why I'm not overly bearish, and these charts, I was expecting a pullback. We didn't quite get the size of pullback I was hoping for, or I was hoping for at least a 3%, and we could, then everything is rosy, peachy keen, and we can go on higher. Now, it's looking like it's indicating to me that we're probably going to grind higher without getting the 3% pullback in the S&P. And, yeah, we could just go full crazy bull, but that means what happens when we get to the actual top is going to be pretty bad. All right. We're talking big down. Could go lower than we saw in October. Could go lower than, and could last a lot longer too than what we just came out of. So be careful. Be careful. Be careful. All right. Russell, IWM. This one hanging out right here. Couldn't break out. Got rejected back down. Hanging out. Didn't break below the low. I mean, it pushed below, but spikes don't count in my book. This is kind of bullish, but not clear. That's the problem here. If we break out over this high, up here around 2017, we're probably going rocket style up to 2100, possibly 2200. If for whatever reason we break down below this blue line that I've drawn on the chart off the lows from the last few days, right down here around, say, 1955. Let's go with 1955. We break below that, hold any kind of daily close below that, probably going on down. Go back to revisit the roadmap line back down here around 1860. So, all right. Oil, I'm not convinced she's breaking out. A few other people claiming that. So far, that's a lower high. That's a setup to go revisit the roadmap line. I stepped off of all my oil, and looks like a good, helps me sleep at night right now. So far, it's a good decision. Now, one that I talked about months ago, boot right here. We saw a crazy move. This thing tagged my target area right up here. I mentioned this trade on YouTube here several months back, probably back here in May. I was getting long. Guess what? We got the target. I made about 1,800% return on that trade. Posted it in Discord, all the details. And like I said, if you want to come join me in Discord, it's valuable. Links down in the description. But right there, it worked. And I'm off of it for now. This could correct and go lower than the low we saw back here in October. At this point, I'm not sure this is going to continue a bullish pattern. The easy part's done. That was the easy part. The next moves, not sure what's happening. So market is just now open. circle back and revisit. Apple, big down, ouch. Could bounce, but I think it has a date with the roadmap line sooner or later before we go breaking out past 200. And Amazon might rally up to that 160 target up there, 150, 160. We might do it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Airbnb, I would love to see this one rally like crazy. That was a nice, excuse me, that was a nice size pullback. While we could go retest the roadmap line, we may just go launching right off to some targets here. Now, some people said, why do you put some charts in log scale? Why do you put some charts in not log scale? Usually when stuff's moving more than $50 in a move, and arguably this is going to be from $100 to $200, I'll put it in log scale because that makes these little pullbacks and stuff proportionally the same in the different time scale or price scales. That's why I use log. So, all right. That question came up. All right, let's talk about some other stuff moving and get this puppy wrapped up for the day. Team breaking out, potentially going to rally up to this $270, $280 area up here. If it just turns down and breaks back below, probably going lower low. That's the long and the short of it. MDB, so far unable to break the resistance here. May come back and retrace back down to about 325. Snow. Seeing lots of software in here this morning. Snow just churning back below that resistance. May need a deeper retrace again. How low could she go? Probably down to 150. Would not surprise me. That's sloppy and overlapping the whole way through, and it could actually go lower low, but not sure right now. I mean, that is a lower high. If we start breaking below, it's got a little trend line going here. Oh, missed. Got a little trend line of lows going here. We start breaking below that, watch out. Can go lower than what we saw back here. FNGU. Yeah. Completed the head and shoulders pattern. This is a leveraged ETN. Leverage, caution, caution, caution. Leverage does not always follow my patterns. That was a sloppy head and shoulders. Push down below, popping back up. That may be a rejection, and we may actually see this do a head and shoulders failure pattern, which looks a bit something like this. Where we would pop up and hit 240. This candle today is the first indication we may see that rally right up to 240. That's a head and shoulders failure pattern, which we go the size of the head to the neck on the other way. We usually see it try to break out and then reverse sharply. That's a common pattern. DDOG, Datadog. Resistance right above us. Support way down here. Just chopping in the range. Don't expect a breakout for now. All the way back here, I guess I predicted that when we broke above the roadmap line, we'd probably rally right up to that resistance, and that's where we came up to and stopped. USM. Oh, wow. Nice move on United States Cellular. Most cell phone companies getting beat down. Not cell phone, but cellular network companies. Excuse me. Got a crap load of resistance right there, though. I mean, that's spent. Yeah, if it breaks above that, we're probably bullish, but that's like 2 years it spent hanging out, right? Almost 3 years. Gosh. Little diversion down, right back up. Wouldn't expect it to go anywhere. FLGT, that is a potentially bullish pattern. Very nice looking. Probably already got to the extension though. Yep. 1272, retrace the back to the 100, out to the 1618, 45, then retrace back to the roadmap line. That would be constructive price pattern for going much higher unless we get some sort of measured bounce, but that was the lowest low. We'd need a 618 retrace alpha wherever this topped out. That's not a 5 wave so far. Lots of question marks. It's a beautiful start, but not feeling it. Yeah, GC1. We can recycle back up, hit the gold and Bitcoin here really quickly. Bouncing off that box, breaking back out, breaking back above this high, probably indicating we're going on up to 2200 sooner or later. I'm long this out to 2025. Long gold, long silver, out to 2025. Bitcoin, just sitting sideways. And Ethereum, just, that one's drifting lower. So be careful. Probably has a date with lower. Bitcoin just keeps consolidating. And times in the past, when it does that, it usually spikes down and then takes off. And then dollar, turning down off the roadmap line. We can go lower. Extension, 98. We should actually do this now. 98, still 98, 97. All right. Net just hanging out, not really breaking out. I do have a target up here around 88, but not giving me the warm fuzzy yet. XLY, churning. That's up on Amazon being up. If it breaks out, we could see it rally on higher. Microsoft, probably coming back to the roadmap line, just churning sideways. Hadn't really been able to perform. Probably wants to come back, clean out some of the weak hands, and then launch. Fortinet, ouch, look at that. I thought we'd get a retrace. I thought we would. That was getting extended. Beautiful. Let's run this fib. If that holds right here, that can be super bullish. That's actually a really nice. Hold this 618 area, possibly down to 50, but I'd really like to see it here break above this. Well, want to get above the roadmap line, and then we could go on a power move. We're talking power move, power man 5,000 here. Let's look at these targets. Up here, like 150. Almost three times from where we are right now. At least 2x. That'd be a nice move. MTZ. Right down the roadmap line. It's a common pattern. When I look at these things, common pattern. The next move out, 129. If it can hold this and bounce and turn higher, probably back, aggressively through 108, more conservatively through 118, and looking for 129, 136. All right. PANW, NVIDIA, I expect to go back to the daily roadmap line. I don't care what anybody says. PANW, probably coming back to the roadmap line. That would be the expectation. IEP. Oh man, look at that. Ouch. Probably going lower than what we had right back here. Carl Icahn. Ouch. That could be a deep measured bounce. Not my preferred fib to hold support. Could be the first indication that we're going higher. Would be a move up through that low around 2650. Would set this up to potentially rally back up to like 55. Then we probably retrace back to the roadmap line again and then turn up from there. DOCN. Right back to the roadmap line. Common pattern. Can it go deeper? You're sure as blank it can. Sure as shoot it can. This looks like... And we may come down here and retest these lows. Could hold the roadmap line and go higher. That would be the standard pattern, but that'd be 55. But if we go deeper, it's more of a measured bounce setup. And if we don't hold that low, we're probably going lower low. MCHP coming back to the roadmap line. That means SOXL probably getting whacked. Not as bad as I would think. Intel just chopping around. Resistance at the 1618. All right, NVIDIA, I'll pull it up just so. All right. Right there, just hanging out. High risk for it to pull on down. Didn't really correct. It can just go sideways for a while. Hang out. I mean, that was my long-term target. I put that target on there. Gosh, well, when was it? Anybody remember? It was like back in October, maybe. Maybe it was in December. I put that target on there. And I didn't expect it to get there that fast. I kind of expected it to take out to next year. But it got right up there. What comes next? Probably a pullback. All right. Trigger price for FTNT. Let's see. The roadmap line, wherever it is when we get there. Right now, that's around 67. Got to be above that. If it doesn't get above that, I mean, it can come back up, bounce off of that, and go lower. And if it just drops on right now, we get below 50, this is unlikely to do the bullish thing. So there's your range. We can play around in that zone. Break out would take us higher. Break down, watch out. All right. There you go, Steven. All right. Bias for the day. Kind of bullish, actually. Kind of expect us to come back up to this zone. What happens after that? We'll see. We may find resistance at this 30-minute roadmap line. The 15 was already resistance a bit. Pulled back sharply, right back up to it. If we push above it, then that's the indication we're going to probably go on higher. So, all right. ALB is just bearish. So, and until it bounces, there's no update there to talk about. It's down to the 618 and just hanging out. It's got a long way to go. The trigger on that one's like 230, 230, 235, 236, somewhere up there. Got to be above the neckline. Otherwise, this can keep extending lower and lower and lower and lower and break the pattern and keep going down. All right. I'll be in Discord. This is like my 12th or 13th live stream this week, and not all of them on YouTube, only like half of them on YouTube. I'm pretty schnockered. Where's me out to be live? I'll be in Discord the rest of the day. I don't have any more live streams set up for this week, so I'll be back with you again on Monday before the market opens. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure subscribe over there. Hit the bell with the notifications so you get notified when I do go live on Monday. And everybody stay safe out there. The account you save may be your own.